Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. So the markets were a little bit mixed today. Bitcoin was down, and Bitcoin was down mainly because of a story that came out this morning. The CFTC is suing Binance. We're going to take a look at what's going on there. We're also going to take a look at, obviously, what the markets. Miners were down because of the CFTC lawsuit against Binance. So that was a red day pretty much for the miners as well. And then we only have one really story, which is going to be on the U.S. regulators going after Binance and U.S. crypto clash. So that's it. Then we have one story that I'm going to just point out to you guys that I thought was kind of interesting. We're not going to go over it. So it's going to be a pretty easy day here. Okay. So as you guys know this, as always, this is not financial advice. For only do your own research. And I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure. So that is it. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. And let's get into the markets, see what's going on there. So S&P was up today just barely, 0.17% to 3,977. Dow Jones was up 0.6% to 32,432. NASDAQ was down 0.74% to 12,673. Bitcoin is still down. We got about 7 minutes left in the day. It's down about 2.96%. We did hit a low today of 26,525. We are right now at 27,168. We hit a high of 28,053. Now, RSI, as you can see here on the daily chart, has been coming down here quite nicely ever since we peaked here pretty much on the RSI, which was back on the 17th of March. We really had a high here on the 22nd. RSI at that time was still going up, or actually, sorry, it was going down. Price was still going up here. We had a couple of down days. We had a green day yesterday, and then we finally have another red day today because of the news story that came out. Overall, RSI, I think, is looking pretty healthy right now on the 1 day. On the 4-hour chart, we can see here that the RSI, if we look at the bottoms, where Bitcoin was roughly right around here, which was pretty close to over here. Bitcoin was lower at that point. We are still a little bit higher on price, just barely a little bit. So that's still a good sign there for the 4 hours. 1-hour chart, if we look back to where the bottoms were on the RSI, we can see it was at 25. Well, just today, prior to that, we were right around the same level back on Wednesday the 22nd. At that point, price of Bitcoin was definitely lower. So we're still looking pretty good on the 1-hour chart, but I still think we may come down a little bit more, and we may come down and test this 200 weekly moving average, which is our red line here, which is right now at approximately 25,539. But we'll see if that's going to play out. I think it would be healthy if it did pull back a little bit, especially for the 4-hour chart on the RSI and the daily chart. I'd like to see that come down a little bit more before we start going back up a little bit more. Okay, but that's kind of where we are at right now with it. Ethereum was down today, or is down today, 3.33% to 1,716. We hit a low today on Ethereum of 1,688 and a high of 1,782. As far as the miners are concerned, miners had a pretty rough day today. Any was down 2.33% on the day to 34 cents. Argo was down 2.58% to $1.51. Bitfarms, not Bitfarms, BitDigital was down today quite a bit as well, 5% on the day to $1.33. Bitfarms was down 2.49% to 89 cents. Cypher was down 11.68% to $1.89. That one's kind of been bouncing all over the place. Pretty volatile stock right now. CleanSpark was down 4.09% to $2.58. Cores was down 7.52% to 28 cents. DigiHost was down 2.04% to $1.44. DMG was down 1.63 to 22 cents. Greenidge was down 1.87% to 38 cents. Hive was down 6.73 to $2.91. Hut 8 was down 5.75 to $1.64. Iris Energy was down 7.17% to $2.72. Marathon was down 8.96% to $7.11. Mawson was down 8.79% to $3.01. Riot was down 6.84% to $8.04. Soluna was down 10.09% to 28 cents. Stronghold was down 2.5% to 58 cents. And Wolf was down 3.23% to 75 cents. So all red right now today. Okay, we'll see how this is going to play out going forward. Let's take a look at the network hash rate as well while we're at it. Let's refresh this. So this is on the 7-day average. We are still at, hasn't changed over, 346 million terahashes right now. On the 7-day average, if we look at the 1 day, so we got anything, we got a little bit of a decline here as well to 335 from the 337 that we were a day prior. So a little bit of a decline here as well. But like I said, trend is always going up. Okay. And let's take a look at our one story that we do have here and talking about the lawsuit from CFTC. So U.S. regulator goes after Binance and U.S. crypto clash. CFTC accuses world's largest crypto exchange of selling digital assets to U.S. customers despite not being registered to do so. So Binance being one of the biggest exchanges out there, it's no wonder the Bitcoin price went down along with the miners. It's just more FUD that we have out here. So let's go over it. So the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission sued crypto exchange Binance and its CEO CZ for selling derivatives backed by digital assets to the U.S. customers, despite not being registered to do so. The latest effort by Washington to rein in cryptocurrency markets. They've been kind of on the offensive recently after we've had FTX fail. We've had other institutions fail as well, but we've had, BlockFi, Voyager as well. Some others in there as well that have failed last year, and they're just kind of playing catch up right now. And they're just kind of going after anything that they can to make it look like they're doing something. So the suit filed in federal court in Chicago states that since July 2019, Binance has solicited and accepted orders and operated a facility for trading products such as futures and options that derive their value from cryptocurrencies. Binance is the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, right? Which we know, and that has an impact, obviously, on Bitcoin. Binance has said it doesn't sell to customers in the U.S. I have a little anecdote here, or just a remark, I guess you could say. I tried to set up a Binance.com account, wouldn't let me do it. I had to set up an account with Binance US. I was able to do that. The reason I wanted a Binance.com account was one for leverage. I wanted to try out leverage to see how it would go, but I couldn't get access to it. And this was probably like a year or two ago. And at that time, I couldn't get an account for that. Okay, so they did have some blocks in there, but obviously when they're talking about the story here, I wasn't a VIP. They're talking more about people that have a lot of money to play around with. I'm not one of those, so maybe that's the reason I wasn't able to get it, but we'll see what they have to say here. So Samuel Lim, Binance's chief finance compliance officer, is also named in the suit for willful and substantial assistance in these activities. Shortly after the lawsuit became public, Binance's CEO tweeted the number 4 over from his account, which refers to an earlier goal for 2023. He has pinned to the top of his profile, ignore FUD, fake news, attacks, etc. And here's a tweet from him, from CZ. It is, we'll try to keep 2023 simple, spend more time on less things, do's and don'ts. Number 1, education. Number 2, compliance. Number 3, product and services. Number 4, ignore FUD, fake news, and attacks, etc. In the future, would appreciate if you link to this post when I tweet number 4. So kind of his little shortcut there. That's what he's talking about right there. And a spokeswoman for Binance said that the lawsuit was unexpected and disappointing, stating that Binance has worked collaboratively with the CFTC for more than 2 years. She said it has made significant investments to ensure we do not have U.S. users active on our platform, raising its compliance team from 700 to 750 from 100 and spending $80 million to bolster its compliance programs. If that's true, that's great, but we'll see how this all is going to play out. Now, I would rather have, the U.S. CFTC allow U.S. customers to be able to be on this platform, but then they would have to be registered, obviously. That would be beneficial, I think, to everybody involved. Instead of saying you can do this or you can't do this, you can't do that, you can only do this. It makes it more challenging not only for these companies like Binance, but also makes it more harder for regular users to be able to use the products that they want to use without government sticking their little fingers and going, nope, I don't think you're intelligent enough to do that. So that's just my opinion on that one. Continuing on here, the SEC has separately issued 11 enforcement actions since the beginning of January against crypto firms and individuals, including one last week that targeted crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun. Several claim certain cryptocurrency or crypto products are securities, and all of these legal battles could help establish how and whether cryptocurrencies are regulated in the United States. One key area of debate is whether certain digital currencies are commodities or securities and therefore fall under the oversight of the CFTC and the SEC. The CFTC, in its suit, stated that Bitcoin, Ether, and Litecoin are all commodities, whereas the SEC has stated before that Bitcoin is a commodity and everything else is a security. So there's a little battle, internal battle going in the government here as far as who takes what or control over which coins. It's kind of interesting. So, like I said, we need a regulatory framework for which these oversights can work with, and then regular businesses can work with as well. Will we get that this year? It would be nice, but it doesn't look like it right now. There's just a lot of back and forth going on in Congress right now, and it's really not looking too good right now. Let's see. Continuing on here, the CFTC said Binance's efforts to dodge U.S. regulators began in 2017. Since the launch of its platform in 2017, Binance has taken a calculated, phased approach to increase its United States presence, despite publicly stating it purported intent to block or restrict customers located in the United States. The regulator said, like I said, I've tried to get an account with Binance.com. Could not do it. It made me go to the Binance.us, I believe it was the account, the website that you had to go to that one. I haven't used it in a long time. I only have, I think, maybe one of my coins there right now. I don't use it that often. In August 2020, according to its suit, CFTC said Binance documents showed the exchange earned $63 million in transaction fees, while approximately 16% of its accounts were owned by U.S. customers. Now, is that for Binance.us or is it for Binance.com? And that's the part that I'm trying to figure out here. Next, Binance actively instructed U.S. customers for how they could circumvent the company's restrictions by the use of virtual private networks, VPNs, as well as allowing customers to skate and submit a proof of identity or location, the suit said. So if that is the case, well, that's going to be a little troublesome for them. More than likely, if this does go to court and things like that, I'm sure they're going to probably just settle it with a fine and things like that. We'll see if that's going to happen or if they're going to fight it more vigorously on that. But I think it's going to be probably settled out of court, but we'll see. I think it's also a good way, well, one of the ways that they're trying to possibly get fines from these companies, right? They had all this time for the past couple of years where they didn't really do much. They knew stuff was going on, but they just kind of sat on their hands. And then all of a sudden, FTX happens, others happen, and then it's like, oh, we better do something. So they're going to levy fines. They're going to get money from that. It's just another money grab, I think, maybe too. Okay, without having proper regulatory framework. Okay, let's see here. So for certain VIP customers as well as key employees who controlled aspects of Binance's trading derivatives trading operation, Zhao directed Lim to guide the company's VIP team to open accounts under the names of shell companies to evade compliance. So that's also pretty bad there if they did that. And if it is proven that they did that, well, they're going to definitely pay a hefty fine. And then here's a quote: do not directly tell the user to run. Just tell them their account has been unfrozen and it was investigated by XXX. If the user is a big trader or a smart one, she will get the hint. Lim wrote to the team according to internal chat logs in the complaint that the CFTC accessed. So this is the reason why Bitcoin basically, well, fell down today. It didn't do too bad. It was only down 2.5%, 3%. So it wasn't too bad of a day. But nonetheless, it's one of those things where it's kind of like a little poke in the eye. And it definitely is not something that we want to get, right? It's always, we've been through these cycles before. We've seen this happen before where Bitcoin was starting to go up in price. We also saw when Bitcoin was coming down. We saw story after story that was just kind of just punching it down and, keeping it, trying to keep it down. So this is nothing new. We're going to get more of these. These things are going to get worked out, and Bitcoin is going to continue on its trajectory where it wants to go. More than likely, it's going to go up. Okay, but this is just another one of those things where it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and it's all par for the game. Okay, so that is it for that one, and we'll see how this is going to play out. But I think, like I said, I think they're going to just probably end up settling with this and be done with it. But we'll see. Next, I'm not even going to go into it too far, but this is kind of interesting. It's a long read, so I'm not going to go over this really quick. But if you have the time, go ahead and check it out. It's on CNBC, and it's titled "Bitcoin is Poised to Blow Up Africa's 86 Billion Banking System." Very good article on it. Goes into pretty good depths of it. But here are the key points from this. So the Lightning Network slashes the cost of Bitcoin transactions to virtually zero and enables nearly instantaneous cash payments around the planet. They are working on getting that right now in Africa. So that's going to be a big change for them as well. They're currently using old systems, which are cell-based carrier SMS to basically send funds between those. They're also using the old systems, which some banks will communicate with other banks. It's just a mess, and this would be a good thing for them. So as you all know, Lightning Network is a layer 2 technology built on top of Bitcoin's main chain. And then CNBC spoke to entrepreneurs in Nigeria and South Africa who have integrated Lightning Network into mobile money and that's going to be a great thing. But it's definitely a good article, definitely worth the read, but it's a little bit lengthy here, so I'm not going to get into it too much. And that's it. We'll see what happens tomorrow as far as the miners are concerned, Bitcoin, everything else. I don't think we're going to get any more news from the miners themselves. I think we're still waiting on, I think everybody has reported except for, there might be one more that hasn't reported from the miners for their production in February that I'm thinking. I could be wrong on that. I think maybe everybody has provided, but we are still waiting on plenty of companies to provide their quarterly results ending in December 31st. Still have quite a few of those that haven't done that. Once they do that, then we'll go through all the quarterly results for the miners, see which ones did best, which ones did worse. We'll stack them up and we'll do a bunch of metrics on those guys as well. So that'll be coming up hopefully within the next couple of weeks. That's going to be planned. And then also we are pretty much almost done with the month of March here in a couple of days. So then we'll get production updates for March as well coming in probably next week. The 31st is, I think, Friday this week. When that happens, we'll get updates on Monday probably from at least a couple of the miners as we normally do. Okay, so we got that going for us. Other than that, we'll keep chugging along here. I'll try to provide you guys with the best information that I can, some data, some metrics, as always. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. If you enjoyed the content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.